What in the world are we looking at here? I know you want to know, and I know I want to tell you. So let's look at it a little closer. This shape came out of the center of this one. I drew the largest size that I thought I wanted to make, and then I went ahead and cut a smaller size out of the center. That gave me 2 patterns or templates to use. Now when I cut my fabric, I put this end on the fold so that when I cut it and open it up, I'll show you what I get. Out of the smaller one, when I cut it and opened it up, this is the shape I get. Now I have made many mug rugs, snack mats, whatever you want to call them, over the years, and I have loved this particular shape because it's just very conducive. It does the job without taking up tremendous space at the same time. So you can decide what you want, draw your own shape. This is one, and I'll be showing you other shapes throughout the year that I also do this way. But this is what I come up with. Now, I put batting inside so that it has some cushion, and it will also absorb some moisture. And I will also put a backing on it when I get ready to finish it off. Now, here's one that I'm working on. Okay. As you can see, I have put a backing fabric on here. That even makes it more substantial and absorbent. I have put a decorative element in the middle, which is just a fabric heart with a little bit of threads and another little piece of fabric on top of that. I just layered it up. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm using a knit shirt to use as my binding. This was the knit shirt, and I'm cutting strips of that. This is actually the sleeve of it. Just cutting strips of that, and I'm using that as a binding. I've got 2 sides done. And I'm fixing to do this one. All I do here is I sew my seam allowance across, and then I turn it, fold it, and roll it, and sew it down. Okay? Let's just do that real quick and show you in case you don't know what I'm doing here. This does not have to be extra sturdy because when I fold it and roll it, I put it down. I sew it on both sides. So all I need here is a seam guide, basically. Excuse me. A place I know that I'm going to turn at. And I'm doing this so it's approximately the same size as everything else, but not exact. Okay, remember, we're not going for perfection. If you want to do this on the sewing machine, of course you can. Okay, that looks fairly straight. Gee, if I was gonna get it really, really straight, I'd shock myself. Now I'm too old to have shocks in my life, so we won't do that. All right. Now you notice that I left this strip longer than my pieces because I need that to finish off the corners when I turn it the way that I do mine, okay? So there's our seam, and there's where we're going to turn. Now here, I really could have left more at the end. It would have been nice to have just a little bit more, but we'll just make it work. One nice thing about a knit is I can stretch it a little bit. What we're trying to do is to get an even turn on that corner. Pull that knit over tight. Let me pin that first because it's not a lot of fabric and it doesn't want to stay tight right now. So I will force it to. Now, turn the edge a little bit. You don't have to on a knit because it's not going to ravel out on you, but it looks neater. Now let's go over the top of everything with this pin, and we can take out the other one. Now you see I have a nice turn, nice straight turn there when I sew all that down nicely. Okay, it'll close it up, and it's creating our binding on this side. So we're going to roll this and pull it up to cover that where we stitch that line. Roll and pull over just enough to cover that line. Now on this end, we don't have to do the corner because the next piece we put on will be the one that delineates that. In fact, what we will do on this end is just cut off the excess. Okay, so when we come with our next piece, we will definitely get it longer, and we will have those ability to turn and finish off nicely those edges. So there is that casing on that side, and now what I do is I just do an overcast stitch bet you didn't know that knits were your friends. I don't like sewing whole projects with knits or it being my main focal fabric, but when it comes to certain things like bindings, it is a lifesaver. All right, how about that? Let's start. I'm going to go up and under and to the top. Okay. Let me bring you down. Now what I do here is I'm just going to go back and forth for a couple stitches and really anchor that and fight these pins. So from the other side I won't have to fight those pins is hard. I'm just taking some tiny stitches across the top up here. Pull it snug. It's a little bit bulky because it is knit, but it's nice. And also it's strong. If you've ever tried to tear a piece of knit, well, you know how strong it is. Just take tiny little stitches and go down. And if you blend your thread really well with your binding material, your stitching just doesn't really show on this, which is nice because that's not where you want to showcase your stitching. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna get on the other side of this needle and get this corner really anchored good. So I take this needle out right now. All right, I would say that looks pretty good. I'm going to catch just one little corner piece and see if I can pull it in just a little tighter. Yes, that worked. Now I'm going to go down and start my overcast stitching, and I'll keep that fairly close. I'm not going through to the other side. I can feel my fingers on the back side, so I can feel that I won't be going through the other side because I will be sewing the other side, and I don't need the stitches to go all the way through. Just overcasting that edge, little stitch. Going down about 1/4 inch. These are so nice. I love them, of course, because of the mug mat type thing. Put your beverage and whatever little snack you want, or whatever, your tea bag or your sugar or your flavored coffee pack, whatever it is that you've got, your little energy bar, cookie, cupcake. Drink on one side, snack on the other. Pretty little thing, but doesn't take up a lot of space. The other thing is, I use them. I have one right in front of me on my desk, and I use them to lay my scissors on because I hate the sound of my scissors hitting, the table like that. Especially when you drop them like that. So I have this little, let me pull it over here for a minute. It's got everything on it, but I have this little mat here. And as you can see, my threads and stuff on there, but I can drop my scissors on there. Isn't that a better sound? That's one reason why I have it there primarily, is to be my scissor catcher. And So there's a lot of, a lot of reasons, whatever reasons you might need it for. That's what it's good for. But I have one over to the right side of me, further over on the desk, and that's where my coffee cup and snacks sit. I have one on my bedside table. That's where my glasses and my phone and stuff go at night. Just can you see how versatile and useful these little things are? They're just not to set your coffee on only. You can do all kinds of things with them. Okay, that side's sewn. Now I'm going to sew that side. And it is big enough because your coffee cup sits great. I mean, I've got a big cup. And then your little snack or whatever on that side, if that's what you want to use it for. Otherwise, it's a scissor caddy or glasses and a phone, whatever you want to use it for. But isn't it pretty? Now, I have this upholstery fabric, which is perfect. But if you have little pieces of fabric that you can use for something like this, that'd be just great. And cut up a knit shirt for your binding. You'll love yourself because it's so easy to work with. And I do the straight corners. I don't do the mitered turned corners, but if you want to, you can. I just do the straight corners. Another thing about the knit is that it makes curves easily, okay? Cottons don't make curves as easily without tucks and wrinkles, but knits do. And this gentle curve just comes out very nice. Okay. All right. So now's the time to make some little mats. Now's the time to be thinking about your gifting throughout the year. And wouldn't a set of these be great? Maybe a large one and a small one as a set. Now the large one, let me show you how much bigger it would be. Okay. A large one would be, out here on both ends, quite a bit larger. I have one of these on a side table in my living room, and that works out great there. But just all kinds of uses for these. I mean, really. I have set flower pots on them. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've used these throughout the year. But anyway, that would be the difference in the size. So one large and one small would make a great giftable set. And it's just made out of your scraps and a little bit of ingenuity and design on your part, a little decoration of some kind will just pop it off, okay? What can you use to decorate with? Well, anything you want. I could have put that on there just like, like that. Anything I wanted to put on there, I could put on there. Okay. All right. Till next time, let's try to get into our scraps more, okay? Because then we stay very scrap happy. Well, let's look at some finished things here that we're just going to love. First of all, we'll revisit the beautiful pouch that I made. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it, love it. Opens up, fully lined. And I made this little companion one to go with it. It just ties. It just folds over. It's just a gorgeous little thing. Using the skirt parts, remember. It's just a little pouch that we can secure. This is sewn onto the back so that it stays, so that we can secure something smaller, like I would put my credit card, my driver's license in this, and then put it in the bigger pouch. Okay, so it fits right inside just make a little companion pouch for your bigger one. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. Now, the finished mat that we were making, doesn't this look gorgeous? Look at that. Fully finished, lined, so nice. Got the little heart on the front. What a wonderful thing for yourself or as a gift. So think about how beautiful when you combine scraps in an artsy way, what beautiful things you come up with, because all of this is nothing but recycled clothing and scraps. Okay? So make something beautiful. Until next time, let's stay scrap happy.